So this is the beginning of our walking tour on day one of being in Rome. Apparently we're meeting our guide there. Martin, you booked the tour. Do you know anything else about it?
I don't know. It's a walking tour of the main spots that it's kind of an orientation tour to see where the main landmarks are. So we'll see how the tour goes, and we'll orient ourselves.
This is Trajan's Column that was constructed 100 AD so far, and this is the largest forum in front of it. So this is the Basilica, and in old times it extended to Trajan's Market, and there were restaurants here. There was a library by the Column and like a whole kind of community, and the first shopping mall. So this is the Venice or Venezia square with the ruins. This is what Venice maintained here, and then that's the Palazzo Venezia, which actually became Mussolini's residence in 1929. You see the balcony there. He gave two important speeches, one being the conquest of Ethiopia and the next being the beginning of the Second World War. So that's a little bit of history that we just learned. So this monument was built in 1871 when Rome became the capital, and the Pope then moved to Rome as well, to the Vatican, and it represents the unification. So you see the fountain, one fountain representing the Adriatic Sea, the other the Mediterranean Sea, and the pillars that are there were the 16 provinces back then. The horse is actually 16 times its actual size, and apparently 24 people had dinner in the horse a while back. So this actually is called the Altar of the Fatherland, and some Romans refer to it as the wedding cake or the typewriter. It's neoclassical, and there was some debate as to whether it really went with the existing structure. So this area here is known as the center of Rome. You'll see Palazzo Bonaparte that was bought for Napoleon's mother, who actually was a bit of a recluse and would stay on that balcony with a governess and maybe a relative visiting her. So the thought is that everything kind of radiates out from this square. So this is the smallest church in Rome. Apparently there was a weeping Madonna, and then they built a chapel to honor her, and it is still open to this day. So this is a courtyard with paintings of aristocratic women you can see on the sides, and apparently they now use it as events. So this is some typical Rome fast food. So we're on our walking tour right now, and we're just coming up on the Trevi Fountain, just going down a street to find it, and there's Martin. So here we have the Trevi Fountain. Totally not what I was expecting. Try to give some history of it when we get up there, but basically the fountain was built in 1762, and I'll do more explanation here. So this is actually a monument that is dedicated to water. It was actually the source from an underground aqueduct in Rome, and of course, they built the aqueduct underground because when invaders came, they couldn't cut it off right away, since water is the source of all life. This is the god of water. At the bottom, you'll see two horsemen. What do the horsemen represent, Martin?
The two horses, one is the calm of the sea, and the other one is the anger of the sea. The two states of the sea.
And the two states of the sea. Then you have the god of water in the middle. On the left side, you will see abundance. So she has a basket of fruit. And on the right side is health, with a staff and a snake going up. And then you'll see what water represents. The four women up there having fruit in their hands, having vegetables, all of that kind of abundance, and being that water is truly the source of life. So again, 1762, this was constructed. Okay, Martin. And there you go.
Not 3 times.
So what does that represent?
I can't remember, but I know it. Okay, go Laura. There you go.
Also, why it's called the Trevi Fountain is that there's 3 streets that radiate out from it, so that's where it's got its name. So that's how it's done. That's how you drink like a real Roman.
Do what the Romans do. That means drinking correctly out the fountain.
Martin, that wasn't the correct form. Come on.
I know, but I have a bottle, so.
So this is St. Ignatius Church, and the significance of this is that the one dome is real and the other one is an optical illusion. So we'll see that soon. So apparently this dome up here is the optical illusion. It's actually painted flat. It is not a dome, but it certainly looks like it. So apparently the ceiling is also very flat, and you don't even know.
Just clear of stone. The customs, the ground customs.
This is Hadrian's Temple.
But in the late 1800s, it became the
So this is the Pantheon, and it was rebuilt 3 times.
well-preserved monument.
This is underneath Piazza Navona.
Stadium, built by Emperor Domitian in 80 AD, 86 AD.
86. So we are coming into Piazza Navona now. This is one of the most popular squares in Rome. This was built by Giacomo della Porta in the early 1500s. So this is called the Fountain of the Four Rivers. It actually represents the 4 continents. It was done by Bernini in the 1600s, and that was before Australia was discovered. So you'll only see the 4 rivers of 4 continents. And I'll try to do an overview of what these statues mean from what I remember from the tour today. This statue represents India with the Ganges River, and you can see the oar. That's the only statue that has an oar associated with it as well. You see the palm tree over there, etc. This statue represents Egypt, Africa, actually the African continent, with the river Nile, and you see that the statue's head is covered. That represents denial because they didn't know at that point, this is in the 1600s, apparently exactly where the Nile went. This statue represents the Americas. You see the silver. They thought that they were that was going to be the source of their wealth, or was already the source of their wealth. And this is a statue represents Europe and the Danube. And if we kind of go around it, you'll see where the hand of the statue is touching, and it actually touches the Pope's coat of arms. So that symbolizes the relationship between Europe and the Pope. I'll say that's a pretty small glass of beer.
Sadly, in Italy, they have like those small 1 liter beer, so that's all I could order. What else can I do? As you can see, it's a bit hot in here.
That's a very sweaty t-shirt. Wow.
It must be about 40 degrees, 42 degrees right now. It's 12 noon, just past 12 noon. It's hot in here. It's incredible.
So we just finished our walking tour of Rome. It was wonderful, given actually by an American expat who's lived here for 18 years. And we are in Piazza, what is it, Navona. You can angle the camera, Martin, you might be able to see the fountain in the background. Maybe we can.
We can with the sun.
There, yeah. So anyway, wonderful morning. We're really glad we're done though at 12 noon because it's heating up. As Martin said, it's probably about 38 degrees right now. Bye.